Look at your bottle. Look at my shirt.
How are we doing? Is this for the record? Is this what this is? Is this for the record?
Look at your bottle. Look at my shirt, motherfucker.
Wasko's is gonna get inside you.
Motherfucking Wasko's.
It's gonna get inside you. Me and Steve.
Motherfucking Wasko's. Where are your wings?
party, people. Fuck yeah! Remember, go back and buy some shirts from us, buy some shirts from Ugly, buy shit from Quiet Kind, buy shit from Hailing Andromeda, buy shit from Moshing Memories. Anyone else who's on the show I'm not remembering, I swear I'm not an asshole. There's a lot of you, there's a lot of us. We're a family. Always love and love is all.
Yeah!
Oh.
Yeah. Hey, let's go party.
We got our Wasko's anthem, known as Sobriety Sucks, coming up. Alright? And you, my good sir, are about to do the beer bottle, remember?
So a couple years ago, we played our first Northern Wisconsin Metalfest. We wrote this next song. Oh, I guess you're playing butt plug.
We gotta let the beer settle, so Aaron, you're getting your wish. If you can hear this, butt plug is about to play.
And you guys are like grabbing plugs, I'm gonna come join you.
Hail Satan!
really more of a family type of event. Really, it's coming out here, it's enjoying, it's embracing metal, it's embracing the bonds that we have made over the years with lots of fellow bands. Also, just a lot of bands that come out of state too, so we get a chance to have some new blood as well that come in. They like to play, we hang out, bonfires, all that type of stuff, right? It's about making connections, really. It's about taking some of those connections that we've made already and actually solidifying them even more so.
How long have you guys been at Wasko's?
Well, we played one before you, so this is our 4th. We had 3 with you, and then 1 with Joel Walters.
Oh, for Endless Rain playing, yeah.
For Endless Rain, yeah.
Is that right? It's those? It's been a couple of years for sure.
About 4
I know
or 5 years now.
Yeah.
And then you individually?
I've actually been here. This is my 4th year coming here, actually.
Oh,
so
nice, nice.
Really consistent.
Yeah. Try not to miss it.
Oh yeah, certainly.
It's where everybody comes together and just hangs out.
Yep.
You know,
It's celebrating the passion of the metal community in the Midwest, just letting everyone, you know, there's not much rules around here, just get along, do whatever the hell you want. It's a beautiful thing.
So Endless Rain has been quite busy actually right now. So coming off the tour of our 2nd album, we are now looking at actually creating a 3rd album as well as getting on another tour for next year. One of the things that we're looking to do obviously, and I know that a lot of folks say this a lot, but we're looking to try to take that 3rd album and take it a different-ish direction in a way. So again, it'll be a lot of things that we typically do, which is going to be some of the brutal stuff, some of the lighter stuff, that type of thing. So I think it's going to end up being another good mix type of thing. So for now, we're in the writing phase. We plan to go into the actual recording studio. I think we're looking at probably either February at this point, so it might be early spring, and then maybe a release in the summertime probably.
Traditionally in metal, they just kind of, they send stuff to each other over the internet. We're not that way. We're pretty old school with it. We just, all 4 of us get together in the room and just kind of write and work based off feel rather than pre-planning a structure around a song.
Exactly. We just get in the same room with each other and we get our energies together in the same spot, and I think that's the best way to go in my opinion. We just jam on something and then we build around what we like. If we don't like it, we'll just get rid of it, or if we love it, we'll spend a lot of time on it. This is basically just a couple riffs at a time and building around it. More adding rather than taking away.
Yeah. Basically like on the spot improv with
all
it.
feel.
Yeah, all based off feel rather than just one guy writes everything and then the other guys come in and structure it around what's already been written.
And then what we think we have written that's done, we review it, we give it a solid chance to review. I think we spend more time on the review process than the actual writing.
Yeah. Sounds about right. Who are you guys producing with?
So we go through, the last 2 albums we went through was all through Adam Tucker, Signature Tone Recording Studios. He's got a spot there, Minneapolis, Richfield, Minnesota area, so kind of really local. I worked with him initially with Tomorrow Brings New Blood's first album and kind of fell in love with what he can do from a capability standpoint. He's also just one of those studio engineers who's going to tell you how it is. You know, he's not going to sugarcoat it. If something sounds not right, if everything together doesn't sound great, he's just going to stop everything and say, either scratch the song or we got to do something different here. So I can appreciate a lot of that critical feedback, especially when it's you know, very candid and in the moment, and that's what he does the best, really. So
that's what happened with us before. We were writing our first album. We intended to put a song on there. He said it didn't work.
Said no.
And now we rewrote it.
This pretty much. And we're like, you know what? I think you're right.
Now we rewrote it, and now it's on the 2nd album.
So. That's very true. Very true.
He's very stern, but he's also very easy to work with as well. For any band in Minnesota, I definitely recommend Adam Tucker. Yeah, it'll be nice retouching with all our fans in Minnesota again. A lot of them haven't seen us, so we haven't played in Minnesota much this year.
A lot of out-of-state stuff, yeah.
So that's why I threw in a lot of the odd stuff, just to give them a little bit of a treat. You know, that was this guy's idea. It was a very good idea of his, too.
A lot of requests, and you know, that's one thing I really appreciate, too, about Minnesota local metal and everything, is the fact that people, they know your stuff, they know what they want, you know, they kind of come to you and are like, yeah, dude, that song's badass, or they'll come to you and be like, yeah, you can take the other side, I don't really care, you know. So you get really, again, really good honest feedback.
Yeah.
You can craft your own set list based on that, which is really cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Sometimes we'll have a full set list based on what other people want us to play.
Yep.
And we don't have to do anything.
Makes it easy that way.
It takes the guessing work out.
Yeah, that's for sure.
So how's Wasko's been so far this year?
I just got here.
Yeah, he literally just showed up. Unfortunately, none of us could show up until last night. But I heard this year, because Wasko's has been growing every year, I heard it's been pretty goddamn crazy. Each night that we weren't here. Last night we had an ambulance show up. A gentleman split his hand open and was spurting blood out of his hand.
I would say that this year, so far, this is the most people I've actually seen at Wasko's.
It's been fucking crazy.
Of the last 4 years that I've been here. And again, a lot of that has to go to the fact, I think a lot of people have been just talking a lot about Wasko's, about how much fun it is, how many connection it is. Again, not just for Minnesota, but outside the entire Midwest. You know, people coming in and again hanging out, making the connections, saying let's just set up shows, right, when we come to your state and all that type of thing. So that's what I think what makes this really successful for a lot of folks is the fact that we have this ability to come together underneath one roof, or sky I suppose in this case, and honestly sit there and go, hey, these are some cool ideas we have about throwing shows, or hey, maybe if I'm going to do a stretch next year in the summer, can I swing by your state and can we do a show? You know, and you can't really get that anywhere else.
There's no corporations that are producing mass media out of the Midwest. There's like Chicago, but outside of that, like from what I've perceived, everything is largely DIY and based on people's individual ability to organize and manage chaos on a smaller scale.
Yes. Yep. That's very, very true.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And with this being like the biggest year for Wasko's, what would a larger Wasko's look like? Because it's pretty tight here. I mean, it's not overcrowded, certainly.
No.
But, you know, what are your envisions of like the next like 5 years of what Wasko could be in your best case scenario?
You know, so with Wasko's, I'd say to make it bigger and to blow it out, I think a lot of it has to do with, again, the location's pretty good. You're not too far out, you know. And again, I know some bands, they travel way more hours than us locally in Minnesota do, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But I think part of it is it's just, again, a lot of folks, the feedback that I got this year is like, well, we're new to Wasko's.
Mm-hmm.
And we came completely underprepared for this.
Well,
so, you know, the biggest thing is, I think, as this expands and gets bigger, coming a little bit more prepared with food and everything else is really a
beating the cold too.
Yes,
that's
the cold.
Huge
so
thing
the elements, right?
Mm-hmm.
You never know. You're outside. So today we had a bunch of rain obviously come out on us as well. You know, thunderstorms and whatnot. So for it to get bigger, I think it's possible. I think it's another one of those things where we just got to help each other out.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
There's only so much real estate, unfortunately, between both these signs over here, but
well, certainly. I mean, like with the amount of people who bring like tents in order to have like communal spaces beneath the weather, like that's something that could be increased. You know, like I'd for one like to say like this is just some pretty beautiful anarchist chaos.
Yes.
So like props to the organizers for getting this together, Aaron and Jess and all the other people that are going to be included inside these interviews. Like yesterday with the ambulance, you know, Aaron came up there and was briefed on what had happened, managed it with local authorities, and everything went really smoothly. And it seemed very much like that the people who go to Wasko's are willing to put themselves and get skin in the game in order to ensure that everything operates smoothly and to facilitate our ideal Wasko's.
There's definitely, you have a free spirit here, and you're an individual here. Like you can do pretty much whatever the hell you want here.
Yeah, it looks dangerous, like a dangerous place, like Deadwood in 1876, you know, like some mining camp or something. You walk in here, like I'm gonna die. But no,
we take care of our own, and that's the beautiful thing about it. Is if we see someone wandering that doesn't have a camp spot,
or if they're hurt,
if they're hurt, we help them. If they need food, we feed them. There's a huge community thing going on here. It's very beautiful.
Like yesterday for that ambulance, Bloodfist was one of the first people to take leadership and authority over the situation. Other people delegated out tasks, but you know, it was managing the space and making sure that more chaos didn't get added into something that was already chaotic.
Right. You know, one of our own was hurt. We had to take care of him. That's just how it is.
Oh, fuck yeah.
It get a little rowdy around here, but
it gets rowdy.
When shit gets serious.
Shit gets serious.
Obviously, but I wasn't here yesterday. But obviously, he was taken care of, and he's still here today.
Yeah.
He's here. Yeah, he's here partying with us.
Yeah.
Kudos to you, Steve.
I came in and I saw him take a swig out of something, and I was just like, whoa.
Most other people, if they were at like an EDM festival and they did that, they'd be at home, you know.
Yeah, it's an interesting staging because like every festival is just like a series of super underprepared people.
Yeah.
And like the only thing that I've seen that is like in the case of infrasound, which is an electronic one, they have like ice supply lines, but like honestly, I think that very well can be handled just by people going to the corner stores nearby. There's a lot of like willingness to not be prepared that I see going on.
Yeah.
And then also just a lot of imperfect planning, which happens anytime that you plan on doing something big and for a long duration.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, signing off. Thank you very much for the time and the interview, good boys.
Thank you.
Endless rain. Hell yeah. Yeah. So, where do you say that your musical influences come from for Hailing Andromeda?
Oh my God, dude. There's so many different things. Like, it can range from like Post Malone to like fucking, you know, like fucking. I don't even know, man. Like, there's a lot of metalcore influence, like I said earlier.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like Kill Switch Engage, In Flames.
Mm-hmm.
But then like the other guys are like more into like some deathcore shit. Like
when so you said that you have a single out.
Yeah.
And then you're going to be releasing an EP within the near foreseeable future?
Yeah, it should be at the end of October, early November.
Okay, so definitely by the end of 2018, gonna have that out.
Yes, sir.
What platforms are you gonna have it on?
Probably Spotify, iTunes, like all that shit. Like we'll try to put it out on everything.
Yeah.
That's accessible to us. I've only been in the band for a year, but they've been a band for like 3 or 4 years. And I just joined last year, and it's basically a fucking completely different band than it was at the beginning.
Yeah. How
like,
so?
There's a new drummer, new guitar, 2 new guitar players, and the only original member is Kyler.
That sounds like a lot of flux. So is it his project, or is it just like...
It's his band, it's always been his band, but like we just changed up the style a little bit, you know?
Okay, so like the writing style of the music.
Yeah.
That...
Like it's always been like experimental and you know, like metal or whatever. It's always had that metal foundation, but it's like there's some shit that's going on that never happened before when they were a band, before I was in the band.
Yeah.
Like we have like a softer song and shit, like it's like more of like a rock ballad.
Hence the Post Malone element coming in. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, just catchy shit. Catchy shit. I like writing bangers, man. I like to write shit that's got hooks.
Yeah.
But also not too much. Like I don't want to oversaturate it. Like I don't want to be too poppy. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah. And especially, you know, if you put that in too much of your music, then the meaning of there's so much of it
becomes
that
fake.
Yep.
Yeah, it just becomes fake. It's like you're trying to copy someone else, you know, and just trying to emulate someone else.
Yeah. Like, you know, if you have the same kind of staged breakdown series of hype riffs, then all of a sudden it's just like, well, this
is sterile. That's a good word for it.
Yeah, it doesn't communicate.
Yeah, it's just like it's stock. It's like something that everyone else has already fucking done.
What do you think that Hailing Andromeda communicates as a band?
Diversity, man. Like that's probably the best word. Best word that we communicate. You know, we're not trying to like reach out to a certain type of crowd or like a certain type of person, you know, like it's just diverse. We try to add all of our influences in and we fucking go at it, you know what I mean? We just try to have good energy and make, you know, we just try to make people enjoy it, man. We try not to suck. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's the main thing, just try not to sound not good.
Yeah. And to be like critical of the way that you write while also still trying to be like who you are as an artist.
Exactly, which is it's a fucking battle. You know what I mean? Like when you're trying to, you know, fucking write what you want to write, but then you're also trying to make sure that people enjoy it. You know what I mean? Like it's a fucking, I don't know, man. Like I try to write when I listen to music. You know, I want to write how those musicians make me feel.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like
that
albums that have like fucking, you know, ripped my soul in half. You know what I mean? Like I wanna convey that. I wanna put that out and make people feel that same feeling. You know what I mean?
How has Hailing Andromeda changed through these band member switches?
I feel like it's gotten a lot more. I think it's gotten more progressive in a lot of senses. It's gotten a little bit more technical in some aspects, definitely. But I feel like we've kept or done a pretty good job at keeping the same overall sound to it. Just kind of blending really heavy stuff with more melodic stuff, and just kind of meshing a bunch of different subgenres together, more or less, to create something that we can have a lot of diversity with in our live sets, so we don't get sick of playing our sets.
Yeah, certainly.
It's such an open concept too. It leaves everything really open for just kind of whatever we feel like doing, more or less. It's
exactly. Like we have so many different influences that
lyrically, instrumentally, like everything.
Yeah, exactly. Like just combining all of that is pretty much what we try to do. Like we have, we'll listen to anything and we'll play anything.
Oh yeah.
Catch us on our little grindcore EP, 30 seconds long. Yep.
So for the influences of the speech and the vocals of Hailing Andromeda, it sounds like it comes from a lot of personal experience and a lot of like relationship, oneself, with others, and with accountability to oneself.
Absolutely, you fucking hit it dead on there. Absolutely, it definitely varies from song to song, but like the second song that we played on our set here, we still don't have a permanent name for it. Right now the working title is Dick's Blazin'. It's gonna get changed before we release the EP, but that one is, I wrote it in a very open way, or a very cryptic way, I guess. So depending on like whoever's reading it, they can get something different out of it, depending on what they're thinking about when they read it or hear it. But I wrote it, I guess, personally, just kind of about like coming to terms with and like realizing your own toxic traits and the toxic things that you've done to other people, and trying to do your best to correct that and apologize and right the wrongs that you've created, more or less. And that's even putting it in a very cryptic way. That's ultimately what it's about. And we have a lot of stuff that kind of follows on similar lines to that. And we have some songs that are just kind of like fuck you songs too, like our song Eternum Valet. I think it was the third song on the set list usually. That one's just like myself and the one guitarist Brian both went through strikingly similar situations with relationships, and he came to me with this idea, and he's like, this is what I wrote it about, and I was like, my boy, like, I got some stuff I can contribute to this. Like, so that one's just kind of like, to say it's a fuck you song is a very reductive, reductive way to put it. But it's that's like we kind of have the angry songs, we have the more heartfelt songs lyrically, and we've always really strived for diversity in that branch and in all branches of the band. Yeah.
That was a reoccurring theme that came up inside the walk around interview that I did with your guitarist.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Yeah, as I'm sure you can tell from that, like we're all so on the same page with everything. Like it's so
seems like it.
It's so nice to have a group that have the group that we have that we're all on the same page with what we want to do musically, professionally, all that stuff. We're all just in it for the end game, and it's so nice when you have a group that actually can work towards one common goal like that, and you're not feeling like you're pulling teeth to get things done, you know, like it all works very, very organically.
And especially to be able to authentically involve people's musical influences in that way, like that's pretty rare. Like usually at that point there'd be some form of concessions made, or like there'd be like heartfelt feelings about creative influences.
Yeah, definitely. And like not to say that we don't have like our differences and opinions on how something should sound or what sort of specific things should be done, but we always can get through those like in some bands, those little discrepancies between members, like I want to do it this way or I want to do it this way. Sometimes that can turn into a huge thing when you're even just talking about a single piece of a song that you're writing. It can take a long time to figure out what the best way to go about that is, but for us it's like a second it takes us, and okay, these are our two options. What do we want to do? Play it this way, play it this way. All right, we all like it better this way, I guess. Let's do that. Or you know, or maybe one person's outvoted since we're four piece. Like it just makes it very easy to decide on a lot of that stuff versus having like the last rendition of Hailing Andromeda was 6 people, so it was so many more heads to get together and agree on things, and I
can feel you there.
It's definitely nice being able to let that kind of stuff just kind of flow and let it flow freely, you know.
So what is Wasko's to you guys?
Oh man.
Holy
I'll let
shit. Wasko's is a playground for a bunch of drunk people that have no boundaries whatsoever.
If that isn't the truth. I think it's a place for a lot of people where it's like one of the only weekends or half weeks of the year that they can just come out and go nuts, you know, like do whatever the hell they want without, I mean, no consequences,
like YOLO, but maybe, not YOLO.
Yeah, like, you know, it's like, it's not that crazy, but
Yep.
Out of all the 4 years I've been going to Wasko's, the only physical accidents that I've seen have been Tank breaking his foot, which was that last year or was that 2 years? That was 2 years ago. Yeah, Tank, or not his foot, his ankle. He broke his ankle like 2 years ago. And then last night, Shagwell's incident.
I was one of the 2 people that immediately saw him after he injured himself.
Sounds gnarly.
But I mean, for you know, like looking at it on paper, I bet it looks like a huge liability in a lot of people's eyes. Like, there are gonna be how many belligerently drunk people listening to aggressive music, like in one campground. Like, I don't know about this, but like thank you.
Sorry.
And from what Aaron White's always said about it, he's never really had any problems with it. And somehow it works, and we love it.
Yeah, right. Kudos to him for managing all that chaos.
Hell yeah. We all appreciate him so much for doing this.
Yeah. It's a fucking like havoc fest. Like there's just crazy shit going on 24/7, 24/5.
24.
5 days long, yeah, yep.
24.
There we go.
All right, motherfuckers. Thank you so much for coming out. It's rude of me for not introducing my band. We have Joe Harris filling in on drums for us. We have Joe Harris. Fuck yeah! We have ever luscious Bradley Grimm on guitar. Fuck yes! We have Tony Wasko on guitar as well. And we have the ever so beautiful Rob Ritchie on bass. My name is Noah Sullivan. This is our last song. Make sure to pick up a free fucking EP by the way. Grab a shitty fucking demo. Let's do this. Let's do anyone in the band. This is Sea of Trees.
Oh shit, they're smoking.
I wanna see a fucking pig from here. Oh my god. I wanna see you put your fucking print. Destroy everything.
Thank you so fucking much, Wasko! Let's fucking party! Let's fucking party, motherfuckers!
What's up?
Yeah.
We are Synopsis, motherfucker.
And we're on.
Hi, we are Synopsis.
We're at
Welcome to our little own personal part of hell.
How long have you guys been coming to Wasko's?
This is our first year.
First year here?
Yep.
Yeah, I've been coming to Wasko's for about the past 4 years, but this is Synopsis' first year. I usually do ones with my other bands, but decided it's time for these boys to finally experience the Wasko's whole thing going on.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir.
What's the whole thing that's going on at Wasko's?
Fucking Mecca.
Yeah, Synopsis! It's a mecca of hedonism.
Yeah! This is where I go every year, man. This is where I go to get away
Party,
from
music,
it all.
headbanging till our necks basically snap.
Yes, sir.
Oh yeah. This is where you go to get away from it all.
Get away from everyone who doesn't understand.
So, Brad, you were one of the individuals that had started up this project of getting a documentary for Wasko's. So what kind of like inspired you to do that?
Well, I tried to do this kind of thing last year. Didn't quite work out. Couldn't quite get all the resources together. And I've always been thinking, like, over the past few years, turnout was dwindling a bit for Wasko's. It was not quite so many people each year. So it's like, we really need something to just, just let people know what's going on out here. To, like, let people know there's fun out here. There's fucking metal out here. There's a hell of a good time. And so far, it's like, you get those people that come back every year, the diehards. Like, you got Bubba, you got Shagwell, you got, well, of course, Aaron White puts on the whole thing.
Rutherford.
And Rutherford. And Rutherford's been coming the past few years.
Damn, you're part of it.
But it's always great.
People and stories, that's for sure.
But one thing I've noticed is that when I started going to Wasko's in 2014, and it was like only 4 years ago, but there was like a whole different crowd.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of different crowd of people, an older generation, stuff like that. People who've been coming to Wasko's since like Metalfest like 1.
Yeah.
And that's great, but I started to see numbers for that dwindling. I started to see fewer people coming back, and now we're starting to see like a new generation coming in and kind of enjoying it, and starting to get their own little feel for it.
Yeah.
Finding a whole new ways to party.
Do you feel like Synopsis is part of this new generation?
Oh, 100%. I feel like, especially with like, because I listen to more hardcore music and stuff like that, I feel like that brings a younger generation into this music because that's more geared towards people who are like, not like 25 or 30. It's all geared towards people who are younger. So I feel like that brings a new, vibrant, fresh feel to it and a more of an energy to it, especially considering like our audience base.
Mm-hmm.
Especially with Slam, considering the newer bands and coming out like Abdominal Putridity and stuff like that, or like Vulvodynia, I think is what it's called, or Slaughter to Prevail. Those bands are all super slammy and like in the same vein as us, but they're all super young dudes, like the same age as us or around the age as us. So.
Well, not me. I'm fucking almost.
They're all like
I'm
25 or
30.
20. Yeah, they're
right?
all like they're all late 20s, dude. They're all like late 20s or early 20s.
You're the
That's like-
whippersnapper.
I am. I'm 22. They're all like older than me.
We're all damn near 30.
Yeah.
But it's I just feel like we bring in a lot of different variables, especially like considering the vocals too, at least in my standpoint, because I like to bring a lot of energy to the field.
What's something that you focus your vocals about?
I just like making them as dirty and guttural as I can to some degree or another, making people just get like just that that dirty like stank face. Like, oh yeah, that's what I need.
You do that, like, pump up thing.
Oh yeah, dude, where you pump
like
them up
there
and
it
you're
is.
just like,
There
let's
it is.
fucking get it, boys. Let's fucking get it.
Out of the swamp.
It's just straight
And
out
that's
of
when
the
you get
fucking
people
gutter.
just
That's what I
washing
love it.
around.
Yeah,
That's
me and
them
my
jumping
vocals,
around there.
my vocals, I've always been really big about bands like Bloodbath, Decapitated, like a lot of the early 2000s, like death metal, especially a lot of the British death metal. Like a lot of that really like heavy guttural tone, but with the enunciation,
Yeah, and I go for a lot of enunciation, but I like to incorporate more like cattle decapitation influences and like gore grind and heavier slam, like Slaughter to Prevail, or like Annotations of an Autopsy. Welcome to Sludge City. That fucking song, dude, is like, it's like when slam and deathcore merged, and before all these bands started,
that's like the OG shit that I love.
See, and Robert here is a huge Dave Matthews fan.
Dave Matthews, and he likes Typo Negative a lot.
He needs the Dave Matthews Band in his life. It's very important to him, but we don't judge him for it.
We don't, even though he goes
You're our little Dave Matthews
boop.
And I stand by it.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah.
I
Don't
stand
never
by
mess
it.
with the Matthews.
And do those musical influences come through in the creative writing process?
You have no idea.
Yeah, some little backwater way, yeah. I mean,
Oh yeah, everything flows into something, you know.
I prefer to just mumble like a mindless drunk idiot. That's how I'm influenced by the Dave Matthews Band.
So where are you guys at for recording and production?
We have a full EP.
We have
EP out?
we have our EP recorded at 1459. We got that available for free right now on our Bandcamp. And as far as like music goes, we should be hoping to get like a full EP done by, let's say, within a year or 2 years.
A year or 2 years for full album?
We should have a full album out in 2 years, and we should have a more professionally done EP or a more honed EP within the next year.
New
at
members,
least.
things like that.
Yeah, exactly. Once we get a new drummer.
Or working beyond sharp here.
Because he writes the guitars, and I write all the vocals, basically.
So Brad writes
All the
the
riffs.
guitar,
Me and
all the
Tony
riffs?
write the songs. And
Okay.
Yeah.
And then we got Robert
Yeah, they
here
both write.
writing his bass lines, and then we got Noah here writing all the lyrics.
So the writing process seems to be pretty easily subdivided amongst the group.
Yeah, it's not so much one person writes everything. It's more like we all write our own little parts.
Just kind of like
So who within the band writes the drums?
That would be, right now, I'm the one who programs the drums, but basically, as soon as we get a drummer, all that goes out the window, and they can pretty much write what they want.
Okay. And what influences do you guys have? We've talked to the wonderful lead singer.
I have better options, I promise. Cancel that last one.
Okay. You get, all right. We'll give you 2, and then we'll get the rest of them for 3.
Okay. Well, my main influences are Behemoth, Gate Creeper, and Species Splicer. Those are 3 big ones. Blackened Slam and Blackened Death Metal are like 2 of my favorites.
Hell yeah.
So they're my favorite genres.
Tony?
well, I mean, it doesn't go in with this kind of music, but I also do like a lot of scars on Broadway, System of a Down.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Dying Fetus.
Yeah.
Children Bodom. Cannibal Corpse.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck yeah.
Oh yeah.
All over the board.
Yeah, kind of all over the place, really. Frank Sinatra.
Frank Sinatra?
So I love Sinatra.
And how about for the bass element of things? Where does that come from?
I'm a fan of Typo Negative, as I said prior. Vivacious, I've liked their work since I saw them when I first was able to go to shows. Cannibal Corpse, the first band I really got into mostly though, like full scale, was Cradle of Filth. And then it was Cannibal Corpse, and it's kind of speckled across the board until I would listen to them and complete their albums and just branched out a little bit by then.
Hell yeah.
I don't know, with my guitar influences, I like listening to a lot of like old school slam, like not Decapitated, but I do like Decapitated, but like Devourment, fucking Cranium, Acranius, things with cranium in it, lots of cranies.
Carnifex, is that included?
Carnifex, Craniotomy, a lot of those bands, a lot of slam. I've always loved listening to slam.
Caveman riffs.
Caveman slam.
We love fucking caveman riffs.
I love songs where you get drunk. I like songs where you get drunk and just want to beat the shit out of stuff.
You just want to like hunch over, like grab your pieces. And
you could beat it with your turkey leg and get the finish.
It's all about the breaking of the down, the breakdowns, as I call them. I'm thinking of patenting that term. I don't think anyone's used that ever.
No one has.
No one has ever done it.
No one has.
Here, real quick. Wasko! This is Volcano Diving. The sun is on the air is dry. The weather's feeling fucking nice. We'll bring you down when you're in there. To the moment of the sacrifice. Shoot through the eye when you get to the top. The man is pulling down below. If you can, well I know I know you'll be something down a glow. Let's all go volcano diving. Let's all go volcano diving. The body and top of the edge, you are on the track away. You're in the love of reality, that is how we do it for the mouth of a time. And that's the right beats mountain roots, you're the one beneath the ocean floor. And as you die for the Lord, what a country of it, beautiful. Grab your voice and so to the back of death. Let's all go volcano diving. Let's all go volcano diving. Get the top of your underside in the face. Running from the surface out of blistering light. Bring it to the surface, we're right outside. Come and fuck it up on the tide away. Why we waiting all the way up the hill? What if the grave will walk away in the snow? Get it to the top and we'll not turn it down. If I'm going again, I'm going again.
If I was not at the altar, I had to sacrifice something.
Let's all go volcano diving. 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 So I can come.
Fucking Waskos.
So how long have you guys been playing Waskos?
2 years. With us. This is my second year.
Yeah, Infamous has been playing for 3 years.
3 years Infamous, but 2 years with us.
What? To you guys, what is Waskos?
Start with you. Stunt cock! Stunt cock! Dude, Waskos is like paradise mixed with like everything you can like imagine. I don't know,
Sounds pretty open.
Yeah, it is. Anything can happen. Like you can have like a chill time, you can have a wild time, you can have a crazy time, angry time, like anything can happen. Naked Matt, Friday, today. Yeah, no, anything can happen,
Did
dude.
you see a guy walking by with a little dog? He was looking for that white one.
We are shooting a band interview, you fuck.
I'm sorry, guys.
Love you, Dang.
Peace out.
I think that kind of sums up Wasko's in the background.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Right,
Two
anything
dogs
can happen.
chasing after each other, one person walking up being like, hey, have you seen like that one dog?
And the suits are coming.
And then the suits come in with alcohol.
Fuck you.
Fuck you too.
We don't want that right now.
What are you guys doing? I mean, that's part of our interview.
Yeah, Infamous Memories about the fans more than the music, so fuck it. Everybody wants to join it. Words.
I still have puke on the seat from 2 times.
I have a camera right here, by the way.
What?
I have a camera right here, by the way.
Did I spray it?
Very close.
Good.
Do
Be
not
careful.
spray the camera.
This is
Case in point.
Waskos. Like anything
This
can
is
happen right now.
Waskos.
There's just too much shit going on right now.
I mean, it's always good
This is
vibes.
Waskos.
Alright, so you explained your version. What's your version of Waskos?
I'm eating.
Okay, that's her version.
Just coming together as a metal family, hanging out and having a good time. Nobody, I mean, there's never really any drama. Somebody always goes to the hospital, but it's always a good time.
Shall we do mine?
Oh no.
I'm in. Oh, look, it's ready.
Not on the truck.
Behind you. Behind you. There you go.
On somebody else's van?
Yep.
Waskos.
Not quite
That's what
behind
it
you,
is.
but our favorite memory of Wasko's. choose a favorite.
Oh, you're like asking me. I was like, I don't know what the main answer is.
Remember what yours is. It's you.
My
This is
favorite
opinion.
Wasko's moment is fucking, I mean, last year there's a lot of stage diving. I'm a big stage dive person. There hasn't been any of that yet. I still want to stage dive, but I need like 8 people that I can trust to catch me.
Yeah.
Because that's like a 6 foot, or 8 foot wall. So, Andrew.
Yeah.
Cut to shot where I said my favorite memory of Wasko's. Right here. This shit's where it's at, man.
We can do that.
Don't worry about it. Ready? Go!
Chuck! Go!
Your turn.
Okay, I gotta say, even though I wasn't here, my favorite memory that I heard about was when I heard this one pissed his pants and,
I have a picture.
and then slept on top of his truck. And you two changed him.
Yeah, but we changed this guy.
If you don't get drunk enough to piss yourself, you're not partying hard enough.
But we were nice. We didn't want him to sleep in his own piss.
Sacrifice.
Oh yeah, no.
It was all Matt's
These two,
idea.
though, were so sweet.
Hence the kerosene ingestion.
I'm still a little high from that.
So what's your favorite memory?
What do you mean memory? I don't fucking remember shit from Wasko's.
That's a good one, man.
What about you, Matt?
Remember that one time?
Mine's alcohol poisoning. I love fucking just almost dying every time I come here.
Miserable.
That's my favorite part, is feeling like shit for 3 days.
You gotta push the limits,
Seems like
man.
a series of sarcastic statements.
Like it's a hangover, but it's so intense where it's like, okay, I'm gonna die. And then when it goes beyond a day and a half, you're just like, yes, I'm going to die. That's my favorite part about Wasko.
So outside of Wasko's, do you feel that way about that?
Yes, but that's because there's
because I
people
don't go this hard outside. Well, that's a lie.
I detected him, and that was a lie.
I train all year round to get myself to feel like shit on the last day. That's basically all there is to it.
Continuously just trying to go harder to make up for the next year. That's what
pretty
it
much
is.
it.
One shit, last year we went
Got
up
some
on
more?
Thursday, and then we were feeling by Sunday, and you came up Tuesday.
Yeah, I came up Tuesday this year, and the first night I already did it to myself, but I plan on doing it 2 more times this year. So.
He'll be naked by the end of the night.
Oh, I'm getting naked.
If not, the end of this
It's
interview.
Friday, bitches. Matt's getting naked. I'm just gonna add this cut to pan of the fucking dick tent right here.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had to do it, man.
We'll get.
Hi, Mom. Yes, my mother and father
That
are
was
here
awesome.
this weekend, and it's amazing. They've been here every weekend.
I'm playing with boogers right now. It's fun.
Your parents always come out to your performances at Wasko's?
Yeah, you guys.
So this will be their 3rd year here. 3rd year. They're very, very supportive. I dropped out of college and joined these idiots. So.
Oh! Whoa!
Family!
Whoa!
No. Family gathering. She was like, "Oh, they keep asking me what I do," and I go, "Just to shut them up, just say I dropped out of college and joined a punk rock band." And literally, they go, "Oh."
It's okay.
It's the best thing ever. It's the best thing ever. I love it.
We'll cue up the footage of the long shot burning bass guitar behind the set.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, shit, I took a pocket of my pocket.
I got like a good 2 minutes of that.
You know what's great is after he blew the fire, this set, he fucked up his hand because he got it too close.
Yeah.
And he fucked it up so bad.
All I want to say is,
it's not.
I'm a drummer, and I've always wanted to smash my drums, but I pride my drums, so I wouldn't do it. Can I see that? It felt good to fucking throw his bass on fire and smash it more. Cause I don't get to do those things, so I won't trash my baby. I'm sorry.
Nah, it's okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna play that bass, so that was the one I was gonna bring home.
Sorry, I'll get you another one. I bought that bass specifically to trash it, so it's either that or I was gonna install a Bigsby on it.
So, we should ask the real question here.
All right, you ready? How long have you been doing this? We're asking you questions.
Oh no! Flip the script.
How long have I been doing what?
You're on here.
Oh,
We're gonna
God.
Infamous Memories is taking over.
We're interviewing you, man. So how long have you been, doing camera work and interviewing people and taking footage and?
There was a period of time where that's coming out okay, right? Okay, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I was doing corporate shit for a while and doing it really well, and then I was like, wow, like what am I spending my life on? Every day is a continuation of not being able to actualize creativity or opportunity, doing the same tasks over and over again. So I just started like volunteering like 30 to 45 hours a week in addition to working 30 hours. And I've been doing that for like the past like 7 months. I work at a Minneapolis telecommunications network and I'm Xanadu Media. Andrew Schumacher, by the way. Yeah!
This is how Infamous Memories, we promote everyone, even if they're helping us promote shit.
Oh, that's how meta
That's how you do it, right?
Infamous Memories is. Yeah. Well, I mean, like cooperation and opportunity are two things that require a lot of people in order to facilitate. But yeah, organizations radically anti-authoritarian and even more free speech oriented. It's been a good time so far. They run it like an IT company, and I contract and volunteer out of there for community projects.
Awesome. So what do you think about Andrew?
Dude, I think he's pretty cool. This is the first time I've met him. We've talked on Facebook a little bit. Andrew's cool fucking shit, dude. I support this dude.
Enough of your shit.
I chatted with him a couple times last night. They're pretty cool.
Bored. I don't know how else to get in. Hey, what's this?
Further back for the amount of lighting that you have.
I've played many shows with Andrew, and I've booked him plenty on different gigs with different bands, and he's an awesome dude. Highly suggest doing this with him because it's been fun. It's been real fun.
I'm not going to remember any of it.
You're going to remember having a good time, though.
Yep. It's weird that you won't remember anything, but we're infamous memories.
No, I got you, man. Check this out. It's awesome that someone wanted to document the shit that goes on here, because every year we talk about this shit and nobody fully knows unless you're here. This guy behind the camera wanted to help show what the fuck goes on here, and he's doing that, so I support this dude.
Yeah, it's nice to have the word get out. I mean, this is a great little festival, and it always will be.
Little.
Well, I mean, okay.
It can expand though, with shit like that, word of mouth, it expands.
But we do have to be careful. If it expands too much, we can't fit at this site anymore. Do you see how much space we already take up as it is?
Oh, fudge!
That just happened.
Oh, God, you're not even my ex.
Look at the irony.
Why are you putting out cigarettes?
Hand back to the fire.
I'm done. I'm done. You can move on to the next people.
Oh.
This place is just like a continuing, like,
chaotic
hedonism and, like, chaos festival.
Yeah, you don't know what's going to happen. Every day's a new day.
Yeah.
Chaotic neutral, the best kind.
The funny thing is, the police aren't even technically allowed in the premises unless somebody specifically calls them.
Yeah, speaking of which, other than just like what we think about all the other shit, dude, if you get a chance to come to Wasko's or even play, like, fuck, there's no brainer. Fucking do it. This shit is the best time. I look forward to it every year. This is my vacation. This is like what you do.
If you're going just as a fan, like you'll have fun regardless, dude.
It's worth it.
It's a fun time.
Totally fucking worth it.
My leg hurts.
I love what Matt has to say about this. Not the camera.
I'm being pleasant.
What had inspired both of you guys to get Wasko's documented?
Well, Brad originally came to me with the idea of trying to make Wasko's a lot more popular. We're going to try and get the word out about it. And, it was his original idea, so I don't...
It was basically, yeah, just... This fest is a hell of a lot of fun, and it's just a hell of a good time. And it's just something that needs to be brought to the attention of more people. That's more or less what I think about it, honestly. It's, go ahead.
Yeah, it really is a fun weekend, and I'd like to see the promoter get some more attention from it.
Mm-hmm.
it's a good place to go to meet local bands that you never met before, because let's face it, it's 32 bands playing live. But I think it could also be something a lot more national, you know, a lot more well known. It's just the fact that it's just location, you know. And it's all about the headliner. You got to have some big people attending, you got to have some big people attracting. And you know, it's a lot of that as to why I decided to try, or why I wanted to try and reach out to try and make this whole documentary a thing.
Yeah, so Brad came to us, mentioned the idea, and well, Vietnam Media is trying to help promote the local scene, and so, well, why not do this? It's a good way to promote and get more going for it.
What type of other promotion work does Vat9 do?
Lately we've mainly done like shows here and there. Like we have a annual festival called Minnesota Takedown, where we try and do an all local lineup of metal bands, and ideally a national or higher or more well-known local band headlining, so we can get more people in the door and get some recognition for some of these lesser-known bands. And we have some other shows that we do, but for the most part, we've like 1 or 2 shows a year, and the main focus has been Minnesota Takedown for now.
So tell me about your guys' musical project.
We are in a band called Volcano Diving. It started in 2011. Our guitar player, who's not here right now, him and I, we met back in spring 2011, played in a band called Salt Steak, which was did covers of 80s and 90s metal. Through that band, once it started to dissolve, him and I wanted to write more original music, where we met Eric. He was actually supposed to replace our drummer for Salt Steak, but when that fell through, we was like, well, just jump on for Volcano Diving. So we started writing, we went for a few years. I think 2015 is when we first did a live show, which was me, Eric, and Matthew. No singer.
Looking for a singer for years at that point.
Yeah. So the idea is like, okay, we're instrumental, play shows. We'll hopefully meet a singer that way. April 2015, that's when Brad joined in.
So it's 2015. I was actually doing a show with my acoustic band, Just Two Dudes. And it was a comedy acoustic band, just trying to be comedic and offensive, that kind of thing. And Ian hit me up, and he actually hit me up a couple days after the show, or I want to say like maybe a couple days to a week, letting me know that he was interested in possibly having me sing in a band for him. And I felt it was a weird shift for me, because I really like death metal and stuff like that, a lot of the extreme stuff, but I also really love being obscene, offensive, and doing clean vocals as well, because I mean I learned how to sing cleanly many years ago when I was a young child, and I never actually had done that in a band. And so it was like, oh, here's a chance for me to do kind of one and the other at the same time. And I will admit that, yeah, it can be a little abrasive to people to begin with. Is
clean singing?
Abrasive, yeah. It's just that that initial angry voice, you know.
Yeah.
And then you just bring it in with the clean voice to smooth it over, you know. To you know, steady the waters in a way.
Even a shitty cake has frosting on it.
Exactly,
right?
Exactly. Even a silver turd has tinfoil on it. And so it's like, and that's what we do. It's a turd covered in tinfoil. That's my vocals.
So what did the like writing process for Volcano Diving's lyrics look like, or like the music in general?
For the song itself, or for the EP?
Either.
So in general, okay. So
think a lot of the songs were already titled, and you kind of worked from there.
Well, there's some that I kind of came up in my head in the shower. There's some that I came up with after I imbibed some materials that we do not speak their name. So the inspiration from the lyrics comes a lot from, they decided that it was going to be a comedy band, and I'm totally down with that. And the thing about comedy lyrics, though, take a little bit to write. It takes a little bit of time. And so I would write about things I came up with in the shower, things I came up with while I was imbibing certain substances that we dare not speak its name in the state of Wisconsin. and just kind of coming up with just interesting sounding lyrics and interesting rhythms and stuff like that. Stuff that I just thought was amusing to me, I suppose. And I suppose if other people like that, then good for them. And it seems like it goes over well sometimes. So hopefully it's a winning formula.
And so it sounds like the comedy aspect of volcano diving had been added after Brad had been introduced, or was this like conceptually there the entire time?
It was kind of there the entire time. I mean, when we were first looking for singers, we went through one or two, and we really didn't want to have like that. We wanted songs that went away from the relationships, away from the politics, religion. We didn't want to touch on that stuff. It's just write something more unique, just like more fun and entertaining. And so, two vocalists we had, both of them managed to write a song about stalking an ex-girlfriend. So from there, it's like, let's try. We need something different.
let's perhaps move away from girlfriend stalking.
We gave them the assignment, and they showed up with an F.
Yeah.
Basically.
They
go write a funny song, and they come back with
a very
you
very
explicitly
unfunny
asked them
song.
to be funny.
Yeah.
Oh.
With a very very unfunny song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was the curtains for them.
And then Brad showed up, and he aced the test.
What was the tin-foiled poop that he handed you?
I think it probably started with bear wrestling, didn't it?
It really did start with bear wrestling. They told me the song's name was Bear Wrestling, so I thought, how literally can I take this? So I made it a song that is literally about bears wrestling out in the woods for honey. And we just kind of went from there. There's no real limits on where the lyrics go, and sometimes the lyrics get stupid, and that's where they get funny to me. So, and that's where we end up going, because honestly, I'll be honest, I'll say you find it pretty funny.
Yeah.
I know Ian finds it pretty funny. Matt finds it pretty funny.
With martial arts and horrid farts.
With martial arts and horrid farts. Some wonderful rhyming schemes over there.
Written by Shakespeare.
Oh yeah, it's just Shakespearean lyrics.
Yeah.
And so it's been an interesting journey, seeing where the lyrics go as time goes on. There's songs about bears wrestling out in the woods for honey. There's songs about sexual incompetence and about sexual competence, but not in your woman's eyes.
But only in your eyes.
And in your eyes, you can get what you need, but she doesn't get what she needs. It's very important that it be, a give-take thing.
So, what is Volcano Diving currently working on? What do you guys have in the pipeline?
Bitches, lots and lots of bitches.
We've got our 3-track album, EP, whatever you want to call it, and I guess we're looking at finishing that.
Yeah.
Rolling it into a full length.
Rolling it into a nice little full-length burrito. A full-length volcano diving burrito, if you will.
Yeah, like a grilled stuffed burrito.
There's going to be extra spiciness to it.
Yeah.
Is it so hot that God himself cannot eat it?
It's going to be so hot that it'll turn your asshole inside out.
it'll turn it into a
You
reverse
won't know how to
volcano dive.
poop anymore, is what I'm saying. You'll poop and it'll go inside you and you won't know what's happening. That's how great it'll be. They're laughing, but I'm not kidding. Like, it'll be that good. You just take my word for it. And take his word for it. Mr. Ian McCann. And Mr. Eric Anderson. Volcano diving is going to shred up some assholes. It's going to be crazy.
Yeah. No, we're definitely looking forward to it. We released our first EP 2 years ago, and we've been trying to get this done. It's like, finally, just get this whole album done and start getting it out there.
Mm-hmm. Who are you producing it with?
Well, last time we went through Terrarium Records in our Terrarium Studios in Minneapolis. And we'll probably be going through the same place again, because just the quality we got there was phenomenal. And
Not to mention they have a Nintendo GameCube, so that automatically like puts them real high in my book.
To make you entertained?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Being in a recording space and not recording is pretty boring.
I'll tell you, as a singer, it's really good to have, video game systems available in the waiting room. And it's nice that they provide that.
What other elements of their services makes you want to come back?
they've just been, like, the whole time we were there, very friendly. Like, even through the recording process, they were like, all right, how about this? Try this out. The recording engineer helped with some production ideas, which I feel made the album sound a lot better than what we were originally with.
Yeah, in all honesty, he is a very professional guy. You go in there and just say, this is going to work out all right, because you look at the gear, you look at the guy, you look at the stuff he's working with, you just know it's going to work out all right, and you know what, you get the album back and it sounds amazing. And that's what I love about the place.
I'm pretty sure his name is Rob. We could at least drop his name.
Yeah. Well, you know,
Rob's
he's
awesome.
Rob's the master. You know?
Rob is very awesome.
Master Rob. You see, that's why the drummer is important sometimes. He remembers the names that you don't remember.
He did a good job. We should at least say his name, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's Rob. Mr. Rob. He did a great job.
Yeah. Really talented.
Yeah.
He is a very talented man. I'd fuck him.
What part of him makes you want to fuck him, Brad?
Every part.
Every part?
Every part.
The whole burrito?
Even the brain. Even just like every little thought. Just, you know what I want to do? I want to fuck him. In the most romantic of ways. Rob, please don't nix us from the next album because I want to bang you.
This will make this next session very interesting.
It's going to make it very awkward.
That's alright. I heard this is going to take a little while to come out, so we'll record before he sees it.
It might take a little while to come, but it might take a little less, if I, put a little bit extra in there for him.
Yeah. If you save up a little in the tank.
Sometimes, you gotta fill up that tank in order to achieve some good rewards in life.
Yeah.
And this is why he's our singer.
Yeah, I'm willing to just destroy my own credibility for entertainment purposes.
Now, that is a true entertainer.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
You're not a comedian unless you'll throw yourself on a grenade for a joke.
Oh, absolutely.
Or at the very least, you're not a comedian who has balls.
You're not an entertainer until you jump on a few grenades.
Hell yeah.
I've been here all goddamn week.
Yes, we have.
I guess they're not going to hear me from over here.
No.
Any final statements that you guys want to do on Waskos?
Well, I mean, Brad was the one who introduced us to Waskos. So we got on here, I want to
3
say
years ago.
Yeah, the same year he entered the band.
Yeah.
We played 2015, we came back 2016. We weren't here last year, but we're very glad to be back. It's a fun time. We meet a lot of other bands here. Definitely a lot of beer, unfortunately. Or fortunately, however you want to look at it.
Yeah,
I see it as fortunate.
Very dependent.
Yeah. But...
And there's bagpipes right over there. Like right now.
Yeah.
You can't really go wrong.
Yeah.
There's more free beer, too.
Oh, we get to hang out, like, a lot of the bands, they're local bands from the Twin Cities or around the area, so people you don't get to play with too often. We may share the stage once a year, once every 2 years. But you come here, it's like, oh, we all know each other, let's have fun. Like, even if you're not reaching new audience,
process meets with each other.
Huh?
You get to share process meets with each other.
That is true.
They're not always from the cities too. Like some of these guys came from Indiana.
Oh man, when Niall came in on Wednesday from Boston, that was a good show.
Yeah. Indiana, Illinois. I think there was a couple years ago one of the bands was from Milwaukee. Those guys are pretty good.
Yeah. They are from Shred Out, but it's like, yeah, it's getting to meet everyone. Like, just good networking opportunity.
Basically, Wasko's is a place that I go to play with some good out-of-state bands, drink a bunch of free beer, and throw my inhibitions to the wind.
Hell yeah. Thank you very much for Aaron for organizing Wasko's.
Thank you, Aaron.
Thank you very much. We love being here.
You are the man. When I think of Aaron, I think of Wasko's and I think of Metalfest. And I think of all the things that it has done for me over the years. And I thank him very thoroughly from the bottom of my fucking heart. I really do.
Hell yeah.